And we're back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rossicle. I'm one of the hosts here of the channel. My name's Nathaniel, and I'm my lovely co-host, Ashley. Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
All right, and we are back with another Commander deck unboxing. We've done like 12 of these on the channel or something now. I don't know. That's not an exact number, but it's been a lot.
You're so off. Let me pull up the YouTube.
No, I'm not.
How much do you legitimately think it is?
Okay.
Everyone take your guess.
All
no
right,
one cheat.
I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to take a legit guess here based on information, right? We've done 2 Aether Drift. We've done 5 Tarkir. That's 7. We've done 4 Modern Horizons 3. That's 11. Okay, I'm off. We've done 4 Ixalan, which is 15. We've done one other one, 16. I think this is 17.
There are currently 18 on the channel. We just recorded one more. It's 19. This is number 20.
What was it? What did I miss? Duskmourn.
We did Modern Horizons 3.
No,
then we did Aether Drift.
It's just Duskmourn that I missed.
Then we did Tarkir. Then we did...
Yeah, it's just Duskmourn that I missed. All right, we need to get into this video. So, this is Counterintelligence, which is one of them. Why are you looking so mad at your phone?
I'm trying to figure out where our video went.
What do you mean
Don't worry.
video went?
There's a video that should be on the Explorers of the Deep never got added, so I'm wrong. This is actually 21.
Crazy. Any Hoosers. Yeah. All right, this is Counterintelligence. We're sorry for that intro being way too long, guys. Anyways, we're going to jump into this box in just a second, but if you guys haven't already, we would love it if you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Yes. That is all greatly appreciated and might get us to the 200 we need. Please. Let's jump into this thing. We're just a small channel here. All right, so this one is Jeskai, Artifacts, and Proliferate, which I'm very excited about. All right, surpass your programming. Battle your friends with powerful creatures and spectacular spells in Commander, Magic's most popular multiplayer format. That's the first time I've read that correctly the first go.
That's crazy.
Make a jump with the in-spirit to the distant reaches of Sothera and gear up for battle. This upgradable spacecraft commander... Oh. So it's...
So the spacecrafts are the commanders.
The spacecrafts are what they put as the commander. That's crazy.
I kind of like that. It's gimmicky, but cool.
This upgradable spacecraft commander puts the focus on boosting your robot followers with counters, then applying proliferate effects to ratchet up the devastation. In-Spirit flagship vessel, the interstellar vessel In-Spirit, was at one time just a ship, but after years in deep space, it's become the body for a sentient navigational consciousness named Kylo, and a temple for robotic pilgrims seeking to expand their mechanized minds. Bum, bum, bum. Let's tear into this thing, shall we? This one is not well perforated. There we go. Got to the... We're just going to tear this side off. This is not the best that I have ever done.
That's okay.
Oh.
Oh no, the words!
Well, it's just binary. I just don't have the time right now to figure out what it says in binary. So if someone wants to tell us what that says in binary, it's the same thing repeated over and over. No, it's not the same thing repeated
I will look it up once you give me the box.
All right, so that's in binary.
I'll figure out how to translate that from robot to human.
You could probably just look up what the box says. I'm sure somebody on Reddit somewhere has been all...
You know it.
What does it mean? Another really cool, because it uses the colors of it. So this one's like red, white, and blue space themed. Look, man, shout out. I gotta tell y'all, these deck boxes.
I'm gonna smack
the qualities of these things go up every single time. No, but see, there you go. You got the different spacecraft and then that dude. So, I mean, it works. It stores your cards, and it is like labeled which deck it is. So we'll jump into this to kind of get a little bit of the lore. Here is our 100 card deck, and the coveted collector booster sample pack, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the other commander deck, we opened something over $1. That's crazy. I mean, barely, but it was over $1. All right, that's going to go off to the side for now. I promise it still exists. I can't wait to jump into this deck, but first, the lore. All right, In-Spirit flagship vessel. Sothera hides a ghost, the In-Spirit, a fabled lost eternity ship adrift in the garden of Precon? I don't know. A vast and uncanny region at the edge of the system. This massive vessel was once the pride of a distant world, launched and lost to the hazards of weft space. faster than light travel. However, the In-Spirit is not a quiet tomb to its former crew. The ship lives on as the kilometers-long body of its self-aware artificial mind, Kilo, I don't know which one we're going with, probably Kilo, and is home to a legion of Meccans who have found their way aboard, where they meditate and toil tirelessly in pursuit of self-actualization. The In-Spirit is a temple, the body of a god, and the promise to Meccan pilgrims that somewhere in their own code lies the latent possibility of realizing their own consciousness. That's kind of epic.
That is.
This is a ship full of robots pushing themselves to figure out what's going on.
That's all it is.
Do we want to show them?
You guys.
This is what it says, by the way. It's a gotcha. It's a gotcha.
That's what it is.
It's a gotcha. That's so cute. Aw, that's adorable.
Well, because, okay, so I looked at the Reddit. Y'all just have to deal with me for a second. So I look at the Reddit, right? And the Reddit is just, like, literally full of these little characters. Like, just full of little emote. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why? Why? Like, why are people just, like, what? So I finally found someone who posted a link to a converter for binary. And I'm like, oh.
That's why it was spamming me.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to go with Kilo. Kilo, Apogee Mind. At first, there was just the In-Spirit, and then there was Kilo. Emerging from the spacecraft's navigational mind, this intelligent consciousness developed its own subjectivity, a consciousness that could set itself apart from the vessel it was built to pilot. In the decades since this revelation, the In-Spirit has become lost in the Garden of Precon, and Kilo has fully self-actualized, separating itself from the larger body of the ship, naming itself and moving the primary sliver of its consciousness to a single Meccan body aboard its host vessel. Kilo cherishes the gift of consciousness and aims to spread it to the other Meccans, a project that it puzzles over with a mind far vaster than any single body can contain. As Meccan pilgrims arrive aboard the In-Spirit, it's ensured that each new arrival takes into themselves a splinter of Kilo's power, a seed that encourages willing minds to grow. Oh, the lore for this set is awesome.
1,000%.
They really put a lot of effort into this. All right, here we go. Let's tear into this sucker.
Period.
So apparently we will be running spacecrafts as our commanders.
I like that, though.
I mean, that is the gimmick of Edge of Eternities, right? So that's sort of the catch here. Okay, so let's shkabloop, shkablam, shkablop. Here we go. In-Spirit flagship vessel. It costs 1 Jeskai. That's it. Station. It does nothing when it enters, but it has a station at 1, so you can get that pretty quick. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put your choice of a +1/+1 counter or 2 charge counters on up to 1 other target artifact.
So you could basically start charging up.
So, yeah, one thing I did say is that I heard that this deck wants a lot of spacecrafts, but they didn't put a lot of spacecrafts in it. So that's one of the areas you can upgrade. But again, the only spacecrafts you're going to find are this set. So it's like a limited pool of upgrades, right?
Yeah.
And then it does say flying 8+. It gets flying, it becomes a 5/5, and then other artifacts you control have hexproof and indestructible. So, pretty cool. No hate?
No hate. I'll put it in a sleeve a second. My hair.
We'll just put that right there, but it'll get a sleeve in just a second. All right, here we go. This is your, like, whoop-a-dee-doo, crazy.
Whoa.
And then we have some counters here, I guess, because of how much
That's so cool.
Because of how much it proliferates. Whoa, that's cool. Look at this. 5 times charge counter, 5 times +1/+1.
We might actually keep those.
I mean, we have dice, but...
Be boring.
All right, I'll toss them over here for her to keep if she wants. Oh, that takes the place of some of the tokens.
Yeah.
It only has 6 tokens then. So that's where it's getting those from. All right, so we have 3/3 Golem, 3/3 Golem, 1/1 Gnome, 9/9 Golem, a couple of incubators, some Phyrexians to get from the incubator, some gnomes, a Thopter, a Golem, and then a 2/2 bird. Is that going to be Swan Song? No way they put Swan Song in here. Right?
You gonna find out.
That sounds crazy to me. I assume it's not Swan Song. All right, this is another 3-color deck. I'm going to guess the lands. Stop. Wait for it. Here. Nope. 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 Nope.
The Meccans are low
Wow.
cost, dude.
Wow. Wow.
Telling you, Meccans are low cost in this set.
Okay. There we go. Shoop. Land stop there.
This is nothing, though.
Yeah, no, that's like nothing. It's 3 plains, 3 islands, which you haven't seen the islands yet, so there you go. And you haven't seen the plains yet, so there you go. And there, I'll show you the mountains again in case you didn't watch the other video. But go watch the other video.
Support us.
Support us, dang it.
Situation.
Alright, I don't want these videos to be too long, so I'm going to try to go through these quickly, but we will see if that works. Alright, enters tapped indestructible artifact land for Is It. This is a cycling enters tapped land for white. This is artifact land taps for a blue. Enters tapped indestructible artifact land taps for Boros. Enters tapped indestructible artifact land taps for Azorius. God, that took way too long. Enters tapped taps for Jeskai. Enters tapped taps for a blue cycling. Artifact land enters tap. Or no, that one just taps for a red. Evolving Wild just looks pretty cool. Tap, sack, okay, basic. Buried Ruin, tap for a colorless, 2 tap, sack it, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Cool, some artifact energy there. Artifact land tapped out of white. Those would be pretty good for your artifact deck.
Yeah.
Soul Guide Lantern, 1 mana. When it enters exile target card from a graveyard, tap it, sack it, exile each opponent's graveyard, so some graveyard hate. Or you can pay 1 tap, sack it, draw a card. If you don't need to graveyard hate. Mindless Automaton, 4 mana, 0/0, enters with 2+1/+1 counters on it. Pay 1, discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Remove 2 +1/+1 counters from this creature, draw a card. This thing can go infinite with the right amount of +1/+1 counting doubling.
Yeah.
Because you pay 1, discard, put a +1/+1 counter on it, remove 2, draw a card. Mm-hmm. If you have 2 instances of doubling, then you would pay 1, discard, put 4 on it, remove 2 twice, draw 2 cards. You had to discard 1 card.
Yep.
So then you can just... Oh, you have to pay 1. Okay, no, so it's not infinite because you have to pay 1. But it does become 1 mana to do all that cycling. So. Any Hoosers. Golem Foundry, 3 mana artifact. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may put a charge counter on this artifact. Remove 3 charge counters from it. Create a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact. Notably, this uses charge counters, and it's not a spaceship.
Ooh, interesting.
Everflowing Chalice. Oh! This is an old card too.
That is
Everflowing
an
Chalice.
card.
Multi-kicker enters with a charge counter on it for each time it was kicked. You tap to add a colorless for each charge counter on it. These are ways to use charge. I didn't even realize that Station uses charge counters and that's what other things used. I never made that connection.
I knew Station used charge counters.
I didn't realize charge counters was the same type of counter as something else. You know, like if it said loyalty counters, I would have known that was the same as Planeswalkers. If it said, you know. But I thought they made charge counters for Station. I didn't realize that was something that was already, like, existed. Etched Oracle, 4 mana, 0/0, Sunburst. Enters with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Pay 1, remove 4 +1/+1 counters from this creature. Target player draws 3 cards. Interesting. Core Tapper, I think? Core Tapper? I'm going to go with Tapper. Anyways, 2 mana, 1/1. Tap, put a charge counter on target artifact. Sack this creature, put 2 charge counters on target artifact. Okay, so charge counters were a thing before. Enthusiastic, whatever that is. This is an Is It. Flying artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That's nice. Thrumming Bird, 1 and a blue, 1/1 flying. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, proliferates. Very dangerous in like toxic decks. Stupid. I like poison counters though. Experimental Augury, 1 and a blue instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, rest in the bottom of your library in a random order, and then proliferate. Ethereum Sculptor, 1 and a blue. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That's right. Let's cast all these artifacts for nothing. Ooh, Dispatch. I did not know this was going to get reprinted. Dang it. I just bought one of these for you. This is 1 mana, tap target creature, but if you control 3 or more artifacts, exile that creature instead. So this is a better Swords to Plowshares or Path to Exile as long as you control 3 or more artifacts, which, like...
I always do.
You're basically guaranteed. We're just not going to worry about focusing.
Nope.
You basically always do.
Just dropping cards.
The new command tower looking cool as ever. Oh, no. Now we're not.
Don't focus.
No, but now it's like not even focusing at the mid-range.
Probably because it got all messed up when you dropped a card. But it's okay.
No, it will get fixed.
But he said, I'm going to force you to focus.
Look at the card. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, maybe I'm not going to make it focus somehow.
Just leave it be. It'll eventually go back to what it's supposed to do.
Damn, that's not true. All right, Soul Ring.
Don't worry about it.
It's not gone back.
Okay, give it more than 3 seconds.
Where's the Arcane Signet?
Who knows, honey?
Keep track of that, because we might not have an Arcane Signet. Sunburst, remove a charge counter from this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. That's a pretty cool, like, signet
I
stuff.
would bet $5 the Arcane Signet on this card.
Arcane Signet.
You owe me $5.
No, I did not. I didn't take your bet.
Well, it's on video.
Tezzeret's
I said it.
Yeah, but I didn't take it.
Too bad.
Tezzeret's
So
Gambit,
sad.
3 and a Phyrexian blue. Draw 2 cards, then proliferate. Thirst for Knowledge, 2 and a blue. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an artifact card. Swords to Plowshares, but with an art I've never seen for Swords to Plowshares before, so that's
Probably
pretty
new.
cool. That's pretty cool. We take a Swords to Plowshares art. Temple of Triumph is the Scry Boros land. Temple of Epiphany is the Scry Izzet
Ooh, that's
land.
cool.
Temple of Enlightenment is the Scry Azorius land. Landing or attachment lets you control a island or a mountain. That's pretty good. Spire of Industry lets you pay a life to add a color that you need if you control an artifact. This is the Azorius Filtering land. No, Signet land, sorry. This is the Izzet Pain land. This is the Boros Filtering land. What is this? Mycosynth Gardens. 1 tap, colorless. 1 tap, add a mana of any color. X tap, this land becomes a copy of target non-token artifact you control with mana. Wow, that's powerful. Make it a copy of an artifact? That's pretty cool. Karn's Bastion. Tap to add a colorless or 4 tap and proliferate. Nice. Proliferate on Q. That's pretty cool.
that's nice.
This is an enters tapped Azorius land with cycling and the land types. Enters tapped unless you control plains or an island. Again, I like that type of land. As long as you have land types on stuff. Exotic Orchard. So tap to add a color an opponent's land can produce. Enters tapped unless you have mountain and plains. Good to know we have the full cycle of that in here. This is the filtering for Izzet. This is the pain land for Azorius. Titan Forge. All right, 3 mana, 3 tap, put a charge counter on this artifact. Tap, remove 3 charge counters from this artifact to create a 9/9 colorless golem artifact creature.
Sure.
That's pretty good. Because then you can, like, put 2 charge counters on it.
Yep.
Proliferate, so now you have 3 charge counters on it. Remove it, make a 9/9. Like, all right, we're getting somewhere with this. Threefold Thunderhulk. 7 mana, 0/0, enters with 3+1/+1 counters on it. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens equal to its power. Pay 2, sack another artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. That's crazy. When it enters or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens. And then it enters with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. But you can sack the gnomes to make it bigger, and then you attack and you make more gnomes. That's crazy. It's a cool card. It's a really cool card. I like that one a lot. Steel Overseer. We're still not focusing properly. 2 mana, 1/1. Tap, put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature you control. That's pretty cool because most of this deck is artifact creatures. Lux Cannon, 4 mana, tap, put a charge counter on this artifact. Tap, remove 3 charge counters from this artifact to destroy target permanent.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Good removal. All right, it just says permanent. Doesn't say non-land permanent. Bracket 4. Lux Artillery, 4 mana. Whenever you cast an artifact creature spell, it gains Sunburst, which lets it enter with a number of +1/+1 counters for each mana. That was colored mana that was spent on it. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 30 or more counters among artifacts and creatures you control, this artifact deals 10 damage to each opponent. Gotcha. So this is a win con if you have 30 or more +1/+1 counters and stuff. Hangerback Walker, XX. 0/0. It enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. When this creature dies, you create a 1/1 colorless left artifact creature token with flying for each +1/+1 counter on this creature. You can pay 1, tap, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I think this is the correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the card that is Mecha Godzilla that you pulled. I think that's the card that is its equivalent. Like it has the same rules.
Yeah.
Because Mechagodzilla dies and it shoots out all the missiles, so that's what it's trying to like imitate. Empowered Auto Generator, 4 mana, artifact, enters tapped. Tap, put a charge counter on this artifact, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of charge counters on this artifact. Yeah, okay, this is like, the charge counters are coming together in more ways than I thought it was going to. 4 mana artifact, indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a charge counter on this artifact. When this artifact has 20 or more charge counters on it, you win the game. Sure.
Well, if I pull that in my opening hand, I'm keeping it.
Well, you have to get 20 counters on it, so you have to play it pretty early on, and then... Now, it has indestructible, so the only way to get rid of it is chilling. Exile, but yeah. Astral Cornucopia.
And you have exile, like, target permanent, because it's an artifact.
Yeah, or exile artifact, but that's not common.
That's not common.
It's usually going to be...
Exile target permanent.
Non-land permanent, yeah. Astral Cornucopia, triple X. This artifact enters with X charge counters on it. Tap, choose a color, add 1 mana of that color for each charge counter on this artifact. So there's a bunch of mana rocks in here that are mana rocks per charge counter, which is really good.
Yeah.
This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana. Oh, sorry, it has Converge. For each color of mana spent to cast it. How is that different than Sunburst? I feel like that's the same as Sunburst. Anyways, remove a +1/+1 counter from this creature, add 1 mana of any color. Oh, that's neat. You can actually get more than 3 colors if you're adding a mana of any color when you cast something with Sunburst. Because ooh, that's really cool. Tap, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Great. Honestly, I didn't know if Jeskai was going to do counters well like this.
But
and it's kind of popping off. 5 and a Boros. Return all artifact cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. They gain haste until end of turn. Great. That's powerful. Joira, Weatherlight Captain, 2 and a Izzet. Whenever you cast a historic spell, artifacts, legendaries, or sagas, draw a card. Very powerful in this deck because it's basically all artifacts. Alebo, Ancient Witness. I don't know if I said that right. 5 mana, 3 and a Boros Golem, 4/5. Other artifact creatures you control have haste. Whenever one or more artifact creatures you control attack, this deals X damage to any target, and you scry X, where X is the number of tapped artifacts you control. Very powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Very powerful. Chain Reaction. Okay, I've seen this before. 2 and 2 red. It deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of creatures that are on the battlefield. This is a very cheap board wipe, right? If there's a bunch of creatures on the battlefield, this kills them all, usually. So. Now, it's damage, so Indestructible gets around it. But. X and 3 blue... With Improvise, your artifacts can help you cast this spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1 mana. Draw X cards. This actually wouldn't be bad in your deck.
I believe it.
Because you can tap all your clues as the Improvise.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you have 10 clues. This is tap your 10 clues, pay 3 blue, draw 10 cards. It's not bad in your deck. We need to remember that exists. Because I imagine it's not an expensive card. Speaking of your deck, Thought Monitor. This isn't in your deck anymore, so we have an extra copy of this. 6 and a blue, affinity for artifacts, flying. When it enters, draw 2 cards.
Woo.
Takuthal Inquiry Dominus. I don't know. 4 mana, Phyrexian Horror, 3/5 flying. If you would proliferate twice instead is insane. That's crazy. 1 and 2 Phyrexian blues. Remove 3 counters from other artifacts, creatures, or planeswalkers you control and put an indestructible counter on Takuthal. That's interesting.
That is.
I like the proliferate twice effect, though. Ripples of Potential. 1 and a blue. Proliferate. Then choose any number of permanents you control that had a counter put on them this way. Those permanents phase out.
Dang.
Wow, that's good. Mm-hmm. So anything that already had counters on it, you're going to obviously...
Phase out.
Phase out, yeah.
100%.
Not to mention, when you proliferate, you choose?
Yeah.
any permanents or players and give them another counter. So you can, when you proliferate, you can politic and be like, hey,
I'll give
don't
you this.
swing at me next turn and I'll give them another loyalty counter. Or don't swing at me this turn and I'll
give
but
them
you
plus
can
one,
also,
plus one.
if you're playing another +1/+1 counter deck, you could give them all counters and then phase out their whole army. And then swing in for the kill. So it's a very versatile card. I like that a lot. Pull from tomorrow. This was in your... No, this was in my deck. Yeah. X and 2 blue, draw X cards, then discard a card. It was in my deck because discarding for Sidar is, like, technically good. I mean, it is good. Phyrexian Metamorph, 3 and a Phyrexian blue. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any artifact or creature on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. I love mimicking people's creatures, so that's a good card. This is in your deck. Kappa Cannoneer, 5 and a blue, improvise, ward 4. Whenever this creature or another artifact you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter. Well, and the proliferating is going to make this guy huge.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention the amount of... Now,
he's going to be a big boy.
He triggers a ton because all the clues you make. Yeah. We won't get that many triggers in this deck, but we'll get most triggers because everything we're casting basically is an artifact.
Yep.
This one isn't, though. Imri, Lurker of the Loch. 2 and a blue, Merfolk Wizard. Affinity for artifacts, so she'll probably only cost 1. When it enters, when she enters, mill 4 cards. 1, 2. Tap. Choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. So you can get artifacts back from your graveyard. That's very powerful in this deck. Deep Glow Skate. 4 and a blue, fish 3/3. When it enters, double the number of each kind of counter on any number of target permanents.
Dang.
So it's a one-time doubling effect, but it's an after-the-fact doubling effect. Oh, I paid way too much money for this card, and we were just going to get one? Fine. Cyberdrive Awakener, 5 and a blue. Although you have, for the record, in your deck, you have the like, extended art.
I have the cool version.
Because I think they didn't have this version, if I'm not mistaken. Because it was more expensive for the extended art. But, yeah. Anyways... Fine, whatever. This is still a great card. 5 and a blue, 4/4 flying. Other artifact creatures you control get flying. And then when it enters, each non-creature artifact you control, which to be fair, isn't going to apply. This is in here just to give your artifact creatures flying. It's in your deck to give your artifact creatures flying and turn all your clues into 4/4s, which is what it does on that last effect. This is like a $12 card until reprint, so I bet it went down.
Oh, probably.
Right after I bought it for like... $16, but you know, teach
That's okay, you love me.
I do love you. Chrome Host Seed Shark, 2 and a blue, 2/4 flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, incubate X, where X is that spell's mana value. It's a good card, but we've seen a lot of creature spells, so I don't know. Well, we've seen a lot of normal artifacts too. Resourceful Defense, 2 and a white enchantment. Whenever a permanent you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on target permanent you control. Great, so you can move counters here. 4 and a white, move any number of counters from target permanent you control to another target permanent you control. That's very good. Notably, 4 and a white, move any number of counters from target permanent you control to another target permanent you control. Is it instant speed?
Yep.
If you hold up 5 mana, which is a lot of mana, but if you hold up 5 mana...
You can just...
You can make your creatures like as big as you want them to be, right? So you swing that in and then... All right, this actually makes sense for being in this. This also came out of your deck. Organic Extinction, 8 and 2 white, improvise, destroy all non-artifact creatures. In this deck, that's basically a one-sided board wipe that's super cheap. It makes a ton of sense. But this, I think, is still in your deck. Fumigate, 3 and 2 white, destroy all creatures. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. It's fine. It's definitely not nearly as good as the other one.
No.
Angel of the Ruins, 5 and 2 white, 5/7 flying. When it enters, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. And it has plane cycling. Perfectly fine removal. Perfectly good land card if you need it. Battlefield Forge is the pain land for Boros. Love to see it. Gavel of the Righteous, 2 mana equipment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a charge counter on this equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on this equipment. As long as this equipment has 4 or more charge counters on it, equipped creature has double strike. And then the equip is to pay 3 or just remove a charge counter from this equipment. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Cloud Key, 3 mana artifact. As it enters, choose artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. That's pretty cool too, because you can just throw that in pretty much any deck. You run an enchantress, say enchantments. If you run in artifacts, say artifacts. Chaos Warp, but with a really cool art for Chaos Warp. If you don't know what it does, the owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If that's a permanent, they just put that onto the battlefield. So very fun, just like chaotic card.
Yep.
This can go, oh, you have a really troublesome thing, we're going to shuffle it in and hope you don't get something as good. This can also be, I've got a 1/1 token I don't care about. Let me see if I can pull a random permanent that I just get to play for free, which is also pretty cool. Hey, wow! Also an art I haven't seen, but look at that. Swan Song. It was Swan Song. That's crazy. Counter target enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Its controller creates a 2/2 bird.
Crazy.
That was like $14 not long ago. So honestly, some good reprints we've seen in both of these decks.
Probably because
this land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. That's fine for Boros. This is the Boros cycling with the land types. Surge Conductor, 3 mana artifact creature robot 3/2. Whenever another non-token artifact you control. Whenever another non-token artifact. Oh, wait, this is the dude we saw earlier.
Yep.
Whenever another non-token artifact you control enters, proliferate. So every time you cast an artifact.
Proliferate.
That's not a token. Proliferate. That's crazy. Solar Array. 3 mana, tap, add 1 mana of any color. When you next cast an artifact spell this turn, that spell gains Sunburst. I like Sunburst because that's getting counters on all your artifacts that don't have them otherwise. Moxite Refinery. 2 mana, 2 tap. Remove X counters from an artifact or creature you control. Choose 1. Activate only as a sorcery. Put X charge counters on target artifact or put X. So this just lets you move counters around. Pay 2, tap it, and move counters around. And you can move from +1/+1 to charge or from charge to +1/+1. So that's pretty cool. Long Range Sensor. 2 and a red artifact. Whenever you attack a player, put a charge counter on this artifact. Pay 1, remove 2 charge counters from this artifact. Discover 4. Discover is like exile until you find a card that's mana value 4 or less. Put it in your hand or play it. Depth Shaker Titan. 5 and 2 red 5/5. When it enters, any number of target non-creature artifacts you control become 3/3 artifact creatures. It's not in your colors, so we can't add it to your play deck. Sack them at the beginning of the... sack them. Never mind. Oh, okay. Each artifact creature you control has melee, trample, and haste.
Wow.
Whenever a creature with melee attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you attack this combat. So they're not going to be 3/3s. They're going to be... ideally, you attack all 3 opponents and they become 6/6s with trample. So it's meant to give you the win if you play it in a deck like that. All right, this is a spacecraft. Euthros Research Craft. 2 and a blue. Does nothing when it enters, but 3+. Whenever you cast an artifact spell... draw a card.
Alright, sure. I'll take that.
And then put a charge counter on this spacecraft.
Damn. Alright, sure.
Then if you get it to 12+, flying is 0/8, but it gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control.
Wow.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Insight Engine, 2 and a blue artifact. Pay 2, tap it, put a charge counter on this artifact. Then... draw a card for each charge counter on it.
Damn.
That's pretty solid. That's a very good card to put the charge counters on for that. Draw a bunch of cards. We're almost done here, people. I think 2 more. Patrolling Peacemaker, 2 and a white artifact creature robot soldier 0/0, which enters with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever an opponent commits a crime, they're bringing that back. So committing a crime is whenever an opponent targets anything an opponent controls. So whenever an opponent targets something that they don't control.
Yeah.
Wait. If they target an opponent... okay, so you commit a crime if you target an opponent, anything an opponent controls, and or cards in their graveyard. So anytime you're targeting something of somebody else's, you commit a crime. So whenever one of your opponents commit a crime, proliferate.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's insanity.
That's crazy. That's very, very powerful. I bet that's worth something because of, like, poison.
Oh, probably.
Because a lot of poison...
there is some poison undertone to this set.
And then we have Kilo, Apogee Mind. Also just a Jeskai. 3/3 haste. Whenever Kilo becomes tapped, proliferate. It's done that a couple times.
Okay.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
All right. I mean, you want me to go make sure the door's locked? I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. You entertain the masses for half a second.
Hi, masses. I have anxiety, so... He goes and checks doors for me.
Door was locked.
Great. We live in a new apartment complex, so sometimes I have a lot of anxiety about noises.
Yep.
I also just don't like hearing noises, so I'm really excited to eventually live in a house and not an apartment complex.
I'm back. All right.
Woo, this is so slippery.
I have to be honest with you.
Me.
I am. So we went with gray for artifacts, but blue for the commander. So I think it looks really neat. Now it has different texture, but
it's fine as the commander.
But yeah, no, I have to say, I'll rank this one first because I had you rank it last time. I'm very excited for this deck too. I think this also probably lands either a 7 or an... I think an 8 because I like how much they did with charge counters. I think
there was a lot.
But I gotta say, both of these decks, I'm very excited to play.
I'm
like,
so excited for you.
they did really good with and I'm really glad we picked them up. There's our first shuffle, by the way. That was the first one. We'll do another one on video.
You unstack. You don't want to unstack it. They're slippery.
Gotcha. But anyways, let's see if they're just slippery for you. Let's see if it's a you problem.
I'm gonna smack you so hard.
But anyways, so
I hope they all fall right now.
there we have it. I guess I need to move them to this side anyways to do.
Yeah.
But what would you give it out of 10, my love?
I don't.
You don't like proliferate.
I don't like.
Excuse me.
I don't love complicated things. Proliferate, complicated. I'm gonna forget my triggers.
Proliferate is not as complicated as land sacking, though, right?
But the lands, I just play the lands. I just play lands, and then I get rid of the lands.
Well,
and I play more lands.
That one's land sacking. I don't know. I think Jund is probably more complicated than Jess. Well,
I don't know. The cards seemed simpler than these cards.
maybe.
Like, the cards in the deck were not reading as much as I feel like these cards were to an extent.
Okay. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
I knew a lot more cards than the other set.
That's probably true.
But anyways, I'd probably give it like a 6.5.
There you go. That's not much worse than 7, so.
No.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's probably about an 8 for me. I really like both of these. So, Edge of Eternities has been nothing but a pleasant surprise in every aspect. All right, the coveted collector booster sample pack. I will once again remind you all, please, please, please do not buy these for these packs. You are 9 times out of 10 not going to get something that is worth really anything. And even if you do, then the chances are that you get something that's worth basically nothing. This is our little fate card that is just an ad, and I am ready when you are. You ready?
Internet. Yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Shkabloomy! We start out with Harmonious Grove Strider, a.k.a. This guy's pretty cool. I like him. 5 mana, star with ward 2, and his power and toughness is equal to the number of lands you control. He's straightforward. All right? He's not too complicated. And he's foiled.
He's just cute. We love him.
All right. Harmonious Grove Strider. I think he is worth 7 cents. 10. It's a normal. I mean, it's a normal uncommon.
Yeah, it's normal.
Shkabloomy! Hey, a extended art biotech specialist. When this creature enters, create a lander token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. Nope, just a biotech specialist. Just an extended border.
What do you think it's worth?
Whenever you sack an artifact, deal 2 damage to target opponent seems decent, but I also don't think it seems decent enough to get over the dollar mark, so I'm going to say 70 cents.
99.
Yep, see? Told you it didn't get over the dollar mark.
Foiled is over the dollar mark.
Yeah, but this one is not. So there you have it. I mean, it's fine. Like, we pulled... Okay, let me put it this way. Between this one and the last one, because they're still right here. We're recording these things, right? Because we pulled this one last time, right? Between these, the rares we pulled are both playable rares, right? Because you throw this in, like, a deck with treasures, and all of your treasures are just... Like, you put this in a Corvold deck, right?
100%.
And now your treasures are, like, giving you mana, drawing you cards, putting +1/+1 counters on things, and dealing damage to opponents. And it's like, oh, Lord, well... I don't know why we even play, you know?
Literally.
But yeah, all right. So I'm just going to, because of the slippy cards, I'm just going to put this here. So yeah, that's what we thought of the deck. We want to know what you think of the deck. So after you're done subscribing to the channel, liking the video, comment down below and tell us what you would give this deck out of 10. I'm super excited for it. So like I said, for me, I think it's getting about an 8. But I'm also very excited for the Jund one. So I have to admit, they killed it, in my opinion, with these commander decks. And I'm super excited to play both of them.
Me too.
Anything you got?
No.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you guys this time. Until next time, may those rolls be ever in your favor. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.